Hey guys, welcome back. So I wanted to show you guys how I did this set. This set is actually a couple months old. That's why my nails look like this. But right now I'm going in with the fine sanding band and I'm removing the shine off of the natural nail plate. When doing this step, I don't like to apply too much pressure because I don't want to damage my client's natural nails. But my speed is typically between a 3 and 5. And I like to focus around the cuticle area as much as possible because that's where a majority of the lifting comes from. So now I'm going to dust off the excess dust and I'm going to apply my tips. When applying my tip, you want to make sure when applying your tips, you want to make sure that each tip fits sidewall to sidewall. You don't want them too big nor too small. But if you can't find a size that fits perfectly, you want to go with the highest one up and then just shape as you go when it comes down to shaping. But you want to make sure you go with the biggest one instead of the smallest one, because the smallest one could throw your shape off and it could create lifting. So it's just safer to go with the highest one up. Okay, so now I'm going to go in with my nail clipper that has magnets connected to it, and I'm going to go in and clip the nail. This is just so each nail can come out even. And then I'm going to go in with my 100 grit hand file, and I'm pretty much just going to reshape the nail to that tapered square that I'm looking for. So now I'm going to go in with that same fine sanding band and I'm going to blend the tips in with my client's natural nail plate. This is just so we can get a smooth application when it comes down to laying our acrylic. And you will also want to make sure you're moving around as much as possible because you don't want to burn your client when doing this step. And then I'm going to dust off the excess dust and apply my primer. Okay, so now I'm going to go in with my first bead for my ombre nail. This is a loose chunky glitter, so it doesn't have any acrylic in it at all. I actually had to mix clear acrylic in it so it could dry, and the consistency looks a little off right now, but I just didn't want to apply too much clear because I knew I wasn't going to use this glitter again, or I knew I wasn't going to have too much clients asking for this, so I didn't want to waste acrylic on something that I wasn't going to use again. So I'm just going to pat that down and try to get as much of the tip covered with this glitter. Okay, so before I go in with that second bead to ombre this nail in, I like to let it dry first before applying that second bead, just because the glitter might not be dry, so it's just going to get all over the place. And now I'm just going to work on my second finger, and I'm going to apply that first bead just above where I apply my tip, and I'm going to pat it into place, drag it at the same time. And sometimes I like to dip my brush back into the liquid if I feel like the acrylic is drying a little too fast, just so it can soften up a little bit. And then I'm going to clean the sides off as well, and then just make sure everything is as smooth as possible and not uneven. All right, so now I'm going to take my second bead and I'm going to place that bead just above where I placed my first one. I'm going to pat it into place and I'm going to gently drag it down onto the rest of the nail. All right, so now with my third bead, I'm going to place that again just above where I placed my second bead. I'm going to gently push it up into the cuticle. You don't want to flood the cuticle, you just want to get it as close to the cuticle as possible. And then I'm going to pat it into place and drag the tip of that bead downwards into the nail. And then I'm going to use the tip of my brush to clean around the cuticle so we won't get any lifting. So once I'm done applying my third bead, I like to tilt my client's finger to the side just to see if there's any area that may need more acrylic. If so, then I'll just add it on there to smooth everything out. So now for my marble nail, I'm going to go in with that same gray and a white, and I'm going to marble them together, kind of diagonal. I don't like to swirl them all around because I don't want to lose the lightest color. So I like to start off with the dark gray and then go in with the light, just so it can show a lot better. And then while it's still wet, I'm going to go in with my foil and I'm going to add it on there so it can stick a lot better. When doing this, you also want to make sure you're cleaning off the sides in between, just so you don't have too much shaping to do when we have to go in and encapsulate the nail. So it's better to have that shape still there rather than having to go in and hand file and do all the extra work towards the end. Okay, so for my ombre, I'm going to go in with my second bead and I'm going to apply that just above where I applied my glitter bead. And with this second bead, you actually want to make sure it's smaller than this. I felt like I used too much of the gray and it wasn't showing too much of the glitter. And I'm going to gently blend everything downwards just so I can have that smooth ombre look. And if you feel like it's too patchy, that means you need to keep blending. So blend as much as you need to, and then I'm going to go in with my second bead and I'm going to apply that just above where I placed that second bead. I'm going to gently push it as close to the cuticle as possible, pat it into place just to make sure I get as much of the cuticle area covered, and I'm going to gently brush the rest of that bead downwards. Once that's done, I'm going to use the tip of my brush to clean around the cuticle again so we won't get any lifting. Now for the ombre and the two marble nails, I'm going to go in with clear acrylic to encapsulate the nail. This is just so our design can stay when we go in with our eval. It won't take our design away. Also, with each nail that you're encapsulating, you want to make sure that the design is as thin as possible. So for my marble, I made sure that it was as thin because I was going to go in with clear acrylic to thicken it up. So with whatever design you're going to encapsulate later on, you want to make sure that it's as thin as possible because you're going to go in with clear acrylic to match the thickness that you're looking for. Like for the plain gray, the thickness of the clear that I'm going in with to encapsulate is going to match that color. So I don't know if that made any sense. Just make sure your design is as thin because you're going to go in with clear acrylic to thicken it up later on. So now I'm going to go in with my 100 grit hand file, and I'm going to reshape the nail into a tapered square. When doing this, I like to keep my hand file straight so I can get that sharp square look that I'm going for. And at times I'll angle it just so I can remove any excess acrylic on the sides of the nail. So now I'm going to go in with my fine carbide bit, and I'm going to start off by going up and down first and then side by side. I just feel like when I do this, I don't get any lines when e-filing. And then I'm going to go around the cuticle area to thin it out some more because I don't like for the cuticle area to look as thick. Alright, so once that's done, I'm going to go in with my buffer, which I didn't get to show you guys here. And I'm going to go in with a no wipe gel top coat and apply a generous amount onto the nail. A little goes a long way. You don't have to apply too much. And then towards the end, once you're done, you're going to wipe the sides of the nail off just to clean off any excess gel polish that might have rolled over to the side before curing it under lamp for 60 seconds. I'm going to go in and apply some cuticle oil, and that is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Please like, comment, subscribe, turn on your post notification bells on so you guys can get notified whenever I upload, and I'll see you guys in the next one.